In 1983, the U.S. Navy collided with unidentified submerged objects during exercises in the Atlantic Ocean. But what did these objects turn out to be? From the end of the Second World War, human equipment began to record various kinds of UFO manifestations. An unidentified flying object is not always an alien ship, but in most cases it is exactly that. In 1983, large-scale exercises were held by the United States and allies in the Atlantic Ocean. The goal was to rehearse the possible detection of Soviet submarines in close proximity to the U.S. borders. The exercises were to last 4 days. About 35,000 soldiers and sailors participated in them together with Air Force. Radars picked up 3 randomly moving objects early in the morning. The equipment could not respond to a fish flock, which means that the objects approaching the U.S. ships were of different nature. The first thing that struck the participants in the exercises was a sharp change in depth. In a few seconds, the devices could dive to 40 to 50 meters and also quite quickly resurface. Communications with the headquarters was interrupted, and an answer to a request for a potential target that needed to be hit like that did not come. The command was confused. If it was a target, then why did it have to move like that? Because it was not typical of a target. Aircraft from aircraft carriers took off to the air. The captain instructed to bring all the guns into combat position. Objects continued to patrol around the U.S. flotilla. At some point, power outages began on the decks. It was only by a miracle that panic among the young sailors was avoided. At the same time, the equipment on the aircraft worked properly. Due to the fact that experienced people were in command, an order to destroy the targets was not received. Apparently, experienced sailors had similar encounters multiple times. For about half an hour, on all radars, it was possible to follow the amazing maneuvers of strange objects underwater. Then they plunged to a great depth and accordingly disappeared from the displays. After this incident, the leaders of the U.S. Navy demanded that the USSR clarify the situation, but apart from misunderstanding on the part of the Soviet leadership, there was no reaction. Later, a retired U.S. Navy commander who participated in these exercises wrote a book about this case, as well as many other similar encounters with the unknown in the waters of the world. In his opinion, no Russians could create such devices. Their characteristics were several times superior to the advanced technology achievements of mankind. In total, the book mentions more than 120 episodes when strange objects appeared on the radars of destroyers and other ships. Several times, according to the author, the craft jumped out of the water, flew around the area, and again disappeared into the depths of the ocean. These crafts came in different sizes, have different technical characteristics and shapes. Similar information about meetings with unknown entities was reported to leaders in the USSR as well. Moreover, an institute was established engaging in the study of such cases, a similar body to the one in the United States. According to the conclusions of Soviet engineers, scientists, and the military, these objects have a technical nature of origin as they are able to interrupt radio waves and emit infrasound and other unexplored waves that blocked not only the equipment but also people's psyches. They could also give you a mind block. There are cases where sailors suddenly experience paralysis, numbness, sleep, altered consciousness. The ocean is a very poorly understood place. For example, only 4 daredevils descended into the Mariana Trench during the entire existence of mankind. As a comparison, more than 620 people have already been in space. The coastal regions of the continents are quite well studied, explored, but even they have a lot of grottos and caves into which a human diver has not yet swum. What actually can be at the bottom of the oceans one can only guess. Now, the meetings with unidentified submerged objects, USOs, continue to this day. For example, in 2018, 6 unknown objects were discovered in the waters of Norway. In 2011, a cruise ship from Japan suffered a sudden shutdown of all systems in the Pacific Ocean. Eyewitnesses report that almost at the very surface, they saw greenish saucers that quickly rose to the water surface and descended into the water column. In 2016, in the waters near Franz Josef Land, a Russian icebreaker recorded the passage of 4 unidentified craft at breakneck speeds, more than 440 knots per hour. That's almost 815 kilometers an hour. So the presence of unknown man-made vehicles in the ocean is a proven fact. As to who they belong to is another matter entirely. This is on Solask. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.